So the theme of this panel is Connected Tanzania. We've heard a few examples already this morning about the huge progress made both inside Tanzania and between Tanzania and its neighbors in terms of connecting and interconnecting the countries and the peoples of Africa. So we're going to dig more down into details of what's been the progress so far, what's in the road ahead, what's the crystal ball like, and how can you in the audience get involved with our speakers here in the audience. So over to you now, Sis Innocent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is this good evening or good afternoon after the afternoon? It's both. Well, I'm privileged to be moderating this session, and I was excited when I was asked, as I really also wanted to know how connected Tanzania is connected in terms of the policy direction, but from the service provider perspective, as well as the TTCL, who is hosting our critical infrastructure as a country. So maybe I'll start by asking Peter from the ministry. I know you are here on behalf of the PS, so actually you are carrying that responsibility as a PS. So you speak with your with authority as a representative of the PS. How connected Tanzania is connected, Peter, in terms of police directions?
Yes, my name is Peter Philip Mwasalyanda from Ministry of ICT, and my position there is Assistant Director for ICT. How Tanzania is connected? Yes, Tanzania is well connected. Why? You can put your eyes over the map there. There is a NICTBB, which is the national broadband backbone. To date, it have already connected all 26 regions. We have connected all our neighboring countries except DRC. We are still in discussion with DRC to see how we are going to connect it through submarine in Lake Tanganyika. We have submarine cables, 2, SEACOM and Easy, and the third one is coming, I hope by 2024. It will be landing in Dar es Salaam, the 2 Africa cable. So Tanzania is well connected. In terms of mobile coverage, we are, I know Airtel, Vodacom are here, TCL are here. We are about 96% connected.
You mean in terms of coverage?
That is coverage, yes. What is our big picture? Our big picture is by 2025 to have a national backbone of 15,000 kilometers. As of today, it is 8,000 kilometers. But by end of this year, it will be 12,500 kilometers, connecting all districts by 2025. As per our broadband strategy, we are looking to have a coverage of broadband by 80% by 2025. That is per CCM manifesto, but as per broadband strategy is 90% by 2026. And also to attract more submarine cables so that we can reduce the price. As the previous speakers, I think it is from TCL, when we invite many players, so we introduce competition, and then at the end, we get affordable price to our people. Another plan, we have some projects. One of them is financed by World Bank. It's called Digital Tanzania, where in that project we are upgrading the 2G networks. Around more than 400 towers are being upgraded to at least 3G and above, so that we can reach that 80%, which we are looking by 2025. And also there are more than 300 new towers will be constructed through that project. In terms of government, we have a government network, connected in more than 300 institutions. And we are going to connect more than 700 by through the support of that Digital Tanzania project. In terms of internet, as a government, we have, we need to provide the internet to our government institution so that they can provide the services to our citizens. So at the ministry, we have a 5 giga for internet, which is distributed to all the government institutions. Maybe I can end it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for the information on the connected Tanzania. I think we can see the country is really very connected. If I come to you, Cecil Francis, I understand you have been given the mandate to make sure those connections are taken care of, but also are staying connected. You are hosting almost all the critical infrastructure, ICT critical infrastructure. You have given that in terms of the government has given you the audacity to look after the critical infrastructures. What do you say? How well are you ready to make sure the connected Tanzania remain connected?
My name is Cecil Francis from TTCL. Responding to your question, probably I'll just add up from where Peter ended. But specifically, if you look at the role of TTCL, we find ourselves sitting between the government and also the market, which is the operators, because TTCL is a technical arm of the government. One role of ours is to understand and translate the policies. This is coming from the government side. But again, because we are a technological company, it's also our role to understand the needs and demands from the market. So what we normally do is try to engage, and like what we did last year before the government started implementing the ongoing project, was to get the clear understanding of what the market wants. It's not the issue of TTCL or the government sitting in Dodoma and deciding where to roll out the network, but rather it was about collecting all necessary information from key stakeholders, understanding their plans, their needs, and then you incorporate all those into the development plan. So this is our role, and this is what we are doing, and we'll continue doing that. And we understand what is really happening in the market. Around 10 years back when the National ICBB was launched, at that time, the techies were talking about 2.5G capacity, STM16, and it looked like a miracle. But today, what we are getting from the market, whether it's national operators or from the cross-border countries, they are not talking of such kind of capacities again. We have started hearing the tune of 100 gigs, 200 gigs. These are the things that which are now coming. So our role is to get the information and translate the same into the development plan. And this is what we are doing, and we believe we'll keep on playing that role very well because we have vast experience in that area, and we have demonstrated for the past 10, 12 years in doing so. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Before I come to you, I know you have a lot because you are speaking on behalf of two fronts. I will ask first Mr. Machunde, if I got your name right. Denny, okay, let's do Denny because some of the names, English being my third language, I might even call you a name that you don't know yourself. You have heard Peter and Cecil. I don't know the way they've said the Connected Tanzania is as a private or what you do. What do you think about what they just spoke about the Connected Tanzania?
Thank you, Innocence. My name is Denny, Marandure, CEO of Liquid Intelligent Technologies. I think I just want to start by saying, remember, I think a couple years ago, the United Nations says the right to access to high-speed internet, right, is a fundamental human right, right? It is a fundamental human right.
Conga or Mkongo, it's like an elephant. That's why the fees was, right? But we are trying to educate them.
Interesting.
Because the fiber is the same as the copper, same as electricity. And there is no reason for the right of way for optical fiber to be 1,000 per.
You just made
USD
my day.
per.
You just made my day. Thank you.
So we hope our discussion after, sometimes, and our minister, I remember I spoke to him sometimes, he said also he will engage the PM so that to make sure if between 2 minutes we are not going to agree, but we can go to the higher level so that we can come with a reasonable, affordable price. Because without that one, we are saying 80% by 2025, 90% by 2026, then we'll be joking without reducing the price of right of way.
Is everybody
And
on
I
board?
agree with you that, yes, the backbone, because of the government is investing, no problem. The issue now is to go and reach the last mile. Some people, they say first mile, it depends with what you want to call, but to connect people. There is where you need a lot of investment. I was talking with my friend Hemela. Without that one, even for FTTX, I think it will be impossible because the OPEX will be very, very, very high.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Denny, you have anything to say? Maybe that challenge of yours has been taken care of. Do you?
Yeah, we really welcome, and it's very encouraging what you said. And I think if you see, this will resolve. This will resolve a lot of. I mean, I think it will also hasten our president, Madam Hussein Hassan's goal of a digitally connected Tanzania, because now we can roll out more fiber. But I'll be honest with you, as Liquid, we could, but we are holding off because if we start doing it now, the expenditure, the OPEX, the CAPEX, as you say, is going to be way too expensive. So I think for us to attain that digitally connected Tanzania, we all have to have that public-private partnership that works together. And I really liked what the minister said this morning. I mean, they say South Africa is the springboard of Africa. But what I heard today, the minister said, we're home to Kilimanjaro. So Tanzania is the roof of Africa. So that's very impressive. So if you look at it, they also said Tanzania is the second largest economy in East Africa, next to Nairobi. So I'm telling you, but if you look at the connectivity side, the FTTH fiber to the home is not as robust as it should be. So this is a very good opportunity for business and also for development, because everybody now uses a phone fiber. When you want to use M-Pesa, if you're not connected, you can't transact. When you got different restaurants, sometimes you see them doing this, looking for network. You see, so connectivity is really a fundamental human right. We can't do without it.
Thank you, Denny.
Thank you.
Cecil, before Cecil, I've been hearing about the last or first mile, as Peter said, and TTCL were doing fiber to the home, just to connect more families, more offices within the vicinity of their offices or home. What do you have to say about connecting Tanzania through the last mile, or first mile, as Peter said?
Yeah, we can say first mile or last mile, but to us, these are like integrated projects, because having the backbone running from here to a certain district, but leaving the consumers unconnected, that again is not like a complete solution. So our plan, which goes in parallel with the rollout of the backbone, is getting the homes connected via fiber. And basically, it's not like a one-day project. No, this is planned to be done for a certain number of years, and we have already started doing that. Just like what Peter said earlier, the plan for the government is to make sure by 2025 we have a minimum of 80% connected broadband users. And this could be done via fiber, it could be done via wireless, and this could be 5G, 4G, fixed wireless access, whatever. But in all this, the only thing which you can all affirm, it will be possible once we have the fiber, reliable fiber network in place. So we are rolling out fiber network not only in the metropolitan areas such as Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, Arusha, but we are extending the same to almost all regions. Our colleagues in Zanzibar have already started doing that, Ziktia. And for us in the mainland, we have around 139 district centers, which have to be connected before 2025. So, like I said, this is an integrated project which will be implemented in parallel, getting the homes connected, getting the offices, getting the buildings connected, as well as extending the existing national backbone. And one thing, when, again, I said earlier, TTCL is sitting as an integrator. We have the government and we have the customers. When I say getting the homes connected, getting the districts connected, I'm not talking about the network which is solely dedicated for use by TTCL. Rather, I'm talking of the network which is fully designed by the government to facilitate further rollout of telecommunication services in Tanzania. So this is the kind of the network which will be used by operators, whether they need it to connect their towers, they need it to connect their core networks, whatever. It's going to be neutral, accessible to anyone to have the access and make use of it in order to facilitate further rollout of broadband services to customers.
Thank you. Noah, you wanted to intervene?
Yes, thank you, Innocent. I just wanted to intervene a bit and put some stuff into perspective in a sense that, I'm glad to hear the feedback in terms of right of way, because from the vantage point of TISPA, as an association which comprises of MNOs and ISPs, almost 30-something, we've been pushing for this for the last four years or something. The positive thing started with the satellite reduction, and now, of course, with this feedback, we know that, with that right of 1,000 bucks going off, we will be able now to put real bandwidth to use, because if you think about it, in the last decade, when we lit the 1.5 terabytes on the subsea, between then and now, we've been able to push it, even though the cable has a capacity of 12 terabytes, we've been able to push to at least 3 to 6 terabytes as of now. Now, you remove the right of way, you allow the market, the liquids and everybody else to roll out fiber. Real bandwidth is actually on fixed broadband. Mobile broadband, there is capacity, but real capacity is on fixed broadband. And I really believe that this is not just about Tanzania. We can talk about connected Tanzania, right? But the 7 neighbors of Tanzania also depend on us heavily, because they are landlocked. We are the ones who have the potential to give them more access. The government is pushing on that front. And while we want to connect those, we need also to connect the rest of every Tanzanian on this fixed broadband. And I can guarantee you that what Google has done in Kampala with C² is amazing. If we enable the same to happen in Dar es Salaam and in Arusha and in Mwanza and every other city, all this backbone of 8,000 kilometers today, which obviously by 2025 will be 15K kilometers, there will be more bandwidth on that cable. and I see return on investment for the government. I see TRA getting more money in their coffers, because the more of these fixed broadband customers you have, the more revenue you collect. I just wanted to put that into perspective. Thanks.
Before I invite the delegates to contribute, I would like to ask you then, I asked the question about making sure everybody is on board. We may be very well connected, but if you will leave some behind, especially those who are maybe physically challenged or maybe biologically challenged, I don't know whether that exists, but with assistive technologies to make sure all are connected and are not left behind. What have you to say about that?
I think everybody being connected, there's a lot of other things that come into play. Like, for instance, cost. Cost is a big factor in Africa, especially. The disadvantaged people, sometimes not even disadvantaged, other, different classes of people cannot even afford the price of internet. But you know why? I would love internet to be very affordable. Like, as I said, fundamental human rights. But how do you make it accessible to everybody? It starts with partnering with the government. Like, if we reduce these fees, I don't have to pass that cost to the consumer. So if I take off that 1,000, I know I can provide this at a more affordable price to the consumer. And I was also going to say, as much as we are building this metro fiber, we need also, the ministries need to be together. Like, I don't know what you call the Minister of Roads here, roads, whatever. When I lived in America sometime, when I got there, I used to see this sign that says, before you dig, call Mr. Utility. And I'm like, what does this mean? I didn't understand that. I only understood later. There's a lot of road work that's happening in Tanzania. A lot of good projects happening, but there's a lot of fiber cut. A lot of fiber. Now and then, internet is down. And it's an added cost. Now you have to go and dig up that fiber, repair it. So if we work in partnership with the Minister of Roads to make sure that before they dig somewhere, we tell them, our fiber is here, we can relocate it. It will actually enhance,
I think the
actually help in keeping people connected. But sometimes people go down for weeks and they don't have connectivity, but fiber is right there. But it's just the cost of repairs is a lot. And now we talk about not only just connectivity, schools. A lot of now schools use internet as a library. You go there to do your research. So, but ordinary students can't afford internet. I mean, so colleges, a student now, you don't have to carry those volume books, whatever. You just go on the internet. But if you don't have access to that, it inhibits or it's a roadblock to your progress. So that's why internet is important in terms of a growing, digitalized, economy. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. That's why, as I say, our vision is to create a digitally connected future that leaves no African behind.
Oh, thank you very much, Denny. Anyone want to?